I'm recording audio now. Ready? All right, what up? This is Gino Ray, host of Native as I Can Be, here at Dante's in beautiful downtown Portland, Oregon. And I'm here with my very special guest, Jason Moore.
Hello, everyone.
He is the drummer of the band Dead Animal Assembly Plant, and we're going to be talking a lot about music and Native culture, tradition, heritage, all the good stuff that we cover on my podcast.
It's an honor, by the way. Thank you very much for having me.
We're happy to have you.
Always good to see Gino. Yeah, him and I used to work together for a while, and we managed to stay in contact over the last couple of years. And he asked me a couple of years ago, and I was, I guess I was a little gun-shy at that point in time because I'd just kind of gotten out of retirement from being on stage, and now I'm not gun-shy anymore. So thank you for having me.
I wonder if you remember this story. I'm going to kind of set it up, and I wonder if you remember it. But you remember at OSV, I had the desk right by the garage doors, and everybody would walk by to that to take breaks and smoke cigs and shit. And there was one day when you went walking by, and I kind of looked at you, and I went,
"Oh, that's a
are you?"
Thing, right?
And you went,
Yeah.
They're up there right now.
Yeah.
And
I
you
looked at your tattoos.
Yeah.
And that was when we made the connection. Was that? Yeah. Okay.
So the story is that I kind of been eyeballing him for a little bit, and so when he walked by, I kind of stopped him, was like, "You native?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then he was like, "Yeah, you native?"
you are too.
Yeah, and then I remember you going, "Oh, dog, I'll tell you some shit about this place, dude. Yeah, I'll catch up with you later."
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like our first interaction, other than like, you know,
Hey,
like,
hi. Yeah.
yeah. So he's from Spirit Lake, North Dakota.
Which used to be called Devil's Lake, actually. They changed it probably a decade ago and went back to Spirit Lake because, you know, as the white folks came in, they're devils. Let's call it devils. Yeah.
So what kind of sounds were you hearing? Like, what did your parents listen to? What were the sounds of the res? How is this shaping what you got into now?
I grew up listening to Roger Whittaker and Slim Whitmore.
Thank you guys.
So
Is everyone good down here? You guys need anything?
good so far, bud. Roger Whittaker was always talking about a shipwreck in like Maine or something. And then Slim Whitmore, if you guys remember Mars Attack, he would yodel. And in the movie Mars Attacks, it would make all the aliens' brains explode.
He had the song. I have one of his albums called Gunfighter Ballads,
Yep.
and the song my grandpa used to always play was "Down in the West Texas town of El Paso."
That's what I grew up with.
fell in love with a Mexican girl. Yeah.
So when I was 6, I heard Detroit Rock City by Kiss. And that's a lot of people's story. They heard Detroit Rock City for the first time. I was like, what the F is that? And that's what changed it all. And now here I am putting makeup on 43 years later, because I heard Kiss when I was like 7 or 8. I've seen Kiss 11 times, all in makeup, all the original members. My dad sat through 11 Kiss concerts with me as an older gentleman, you know, taking his 10-year-old kid to fucking concerts. And that's here I am now.
Yeah.
Yep. So then, growing up with, never even heard rock and roll. Never heard the Beatles or anything like that. I went right to Kiss.
So
Rest in peace, Ace.
yeah, Ace Frehley just passed away, I think last week or the week before. What's your dad's name?
Rex Ignatius Moore. And Rex was a fairly well-known artist. And his whole story, he's an amazing man. 20-year retired Marine Corps, lied about his age so he could get into the Marine Corps at 17 years old to get off the res. He ended up learning to speak Arabic and Lakota. And he was also the interpreter for the Shah of Iran for 2 years during during the Korean War. And then he retired from that, came back to Montana, met his wife, became a taxidermist, which is fucking badass. And then we moved, when I was 4 years old, we moved from Livingston, Montana back to the res in Fort Totten, and then he started working at a place called Devil's Lake Suit Manufacturing Corporation, and they made helmets and Kevlar for the government. And within 6 years, he was the CEO, running the whole joint. Never even graduated high school. Yeah. And then ran that for like 12 years. Then retired. We moved back to Montana.
So what was his medium as an artist?
He was acrylic on masonite. Yeah.
What?
Acrylic on masonite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and a lot of pen and ink too. Unfortunately, when he died in '89, I lost all of his artwork through the probate process. And over the last 40 years, I've actually accrued a bunch of his artwork, all primarily off of eBay. Yeah. So he was fairly well known. Antiques Roadshow, Cincinnati, probably 12 years ago, they had one of his paintings on there, and I've yet to find the episode so I can find exactly which one, but I've seen it twice, and it was really cool because they appraised it at like fucking $5,500. Yeah, it was really neat, actually. He was an amazing man. Yes. So Rex, my father, I couldn't have grown up with a better role model. Yeah. I'm so blessed. I had an amazing childhood. Yeah.
So he goes from working the line to CEO in 6 years.
Yep.
Your story is that you busted ass, took all the extra credits, summer school, all that shit to graduate when you were 14.
15.
15.
Just turned 15.
So what is the relationship between his work ethic and his art and your desire to finish school so fast and your art?
My desire to finish school so fast was I was a fat kid, fatter than I am now, so I got picked on a lot, and I fucking hated school, so I was like, fuck this, I'm doing my after school, summer school, and going into my senior year at 14, I had all my credits. And the faster I got done with school, the sooner we could move from North Dakota back to Montana. So I was like, I'm doing it. Yep.
So your pops wasn't an inspiration in any way, or was it?
Of course, yeah. But I kind of took it upon myself. My dad was busy a lot. He was out of town on the weekends, doing business stuff here and there and flying all over the country. So I was kind of on my own since I was probably 12 or 13 years old. Yeah.
So if you're not familiar with life on reservations, there is housing. And a lot of people, probably most people on the reservation are in housing.
Yep.
And because your dad was climbing the ranks, you guys weren't in housing.
We actually had a house, yeah. He had bought that house in 1973, and I think he paid $12,000 for it. Yeah. If that. Yeah, it was actually a house that was made out of 2 boxcars stacked on top of each other. That was the foundation for our house. And growing up in North Dakota, people that aren't familiar with growing up in the plains and what the winters entail. We never had plumbing during the winter ever. In fact, we'd shut all the water off because we're going into winter and everything's going to break anyway. So you got really proficient at outhouse kind of stuff and washing up in basins, giving yourself a bath with water that you boiled on the stove. Yeah.
So you were a chubby kid.
Yep.
That was seen as rich.
Absolutely.
And how traditional were you guys in the family?
My father was amazing. He was like, I would consider him to be like, a medicine man of the tribe, and he was in numerous ways and numerous times. I remember one time when I was probably 5 or 6, he got called because there was a guy that had a gun that was threatening to shoot himself. And I sat in the car. He made me sit in the car, and I watched him just walk right up to the dude, and he's like, "No, you're just going to give me that thing," and just disarmed him and just sat down with him and calmed him down, diffused the whole damn situation.
Which was clearly what the guy needed.
Absolutely, yeah. He was able to read that immediately. My dad was still, when he died at 64 years old, he was still 57-inch chest and like 36-inch waist. just he grew up baling hay Well, so, yeah, my father was, his artwork and his regalia and all that stuff. We were very much involved. Yeah.
So he's a Marine Corps veteran.
Yep.
He's a medicine man.
Yeah.
He's
unofficial medicine man.
Unofficial, but he's the guy in the tribe that tends to get that sort of acknowledgement.
I also remember he landed a big deal with the government, and Geraldo Rivera came in and did an article on this, because he had got this big contract with the government, and so they're interviewing him right in front of the thing, and this bull buffalo comes out of our reserve, out of Sully's Hill, and I'm talking Tatanka, like 3.5, 4 foot, and everybody, he can see everybody backing away from the camera, and he's like, oh. And it comes right up to him, and he just reaches around, puts his hand right on his head, and Geraldo's like, just what? You know?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. Totally fine. And everything was fine. But,
That's some Crocodile Dundee shit when
Yeah,
he
you
does
know
this
what?
shit to the alligator.
yeah, exactly. And I'm not sure if people in Yellowstone National Park saw that footage or something. They think they can do it.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't approach Tatanka. Just, stay away.
I love those videos, dude. Anytime I see some fat ass tourist jumping out of a car and getting thrown around by a buffalo, a bison.
Dude, I cheer. Sorry, I got to say that, but I do.
So, how soon after you graduated did you leave?
The next day.
The very next day.
So I graduated. My last day of school was on Friday. I had our ceremony on Sunday, and we left on Monday, and I've never been back.
Never been
Never
back.
been back. That was in 1988. Yep. I was the class of '88.
Would you ever go back?
Yes, absolutely. The timing hasn't worked out. I've thought about it a lot. Would I take my kids back there?
Yeah.
Pretty rough. I don't know if I would take my kids back there, but it's also important, I think, that they realize where they came from and where their grandfather was from and where, our blood comes from, right from Sully's Hill and Tokyo, North Dakota, and Devil's Heart. That's where I grew up. And Tokyo, North Dakota is actually where I grew up, and that's Tokio, population 40. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But my graduating class was 12, and we had kindergarten through 12 in our school. And I think there was like 85 people all the way through all the.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's only 3 people left in out of my graduating class, unfortunately.
That are alive.
Alive. Yeah, out of 12. Yeah.
I think it'd be sick if you guys went back and played a show there.
I've been asked that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a big stage at the casino. Mm-hmm. I know that. Unfortunately, the tours that we have done have never really put us even close to Tokyo. Fargo would probably be the closest, Fargo, North Dakota. That's still 3.5, 4 hours away.
Yeah.
But if I ever decide to go back, I'm just going to have to fly in. And just, because driving across North Dakota is one of the most mind-numbing things you will ever do as an adult.
Yeah.
So it's like 392 miles, and I think halfway through it does this. Yeah, other than that, you can just drive straight. And you can just, And North Dakota is a beautiful country, I guess, in its own right. Some of the most amazing fishing I've ever done. I grew up fishing on Devil's Lake, catching walleye pike, northern pike, muskie, sun bass, and I was blessed to grow up with so much fishing involved. I mean, we were fishing every day.
Yeah.
And during the summer, every day we were fishing. It was great. So I kind of miss that. I miss freshwater fishing. I miss catching big, 30-pound fucking muskies on a hot dog. Yeah. As far as the rest of the res, pretty rough. And right when I got out of in '88, that's right when meth was kind of starting to kind of work its tendrils into the res. Alcohol always being, wherever you looked on my res, unfortunately, there was you see green sparkles everywhere, and that was from the cheapest wine. It's called White Port. It comes in a big green bottle, so there's broken green glass everywhere. So that's part of the reasons why I'm not sure if I ever want to show that to my daughters.
I set it down somewhere.
But then again, it'd be important for them to know, what it's like on the res.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's a different world.
it is.
It really
It
is,
is. And I don't think people realize what reservations are like. I think they just think of it as this place where Indians live and there's teepees and whatever the fuck else. But they're like third world countries.
They are.
They're bad. I
Look at
mean,
Navajo Nation, for crying out loud. It's probably got some of the worst. We've played Navajo Nation a couple times. We've gone through Albuquerque and that whole area. We played, what was that place we played in New Mexico on the res? Farmington, yes.
Switch it up.
We've done Farmington, and it's just a barren landscape. And it's really rough.
Tonight, there sure was a place that we did stuff.
Yeah, yep.
Famous authentic Indian tacos.
That was great.
Yeah, we got some real tacos.
so when you left, what do you think you were doing? Were you running or were you chasing something?
At that point, I was going to go to college in the fall, but unfortunately my dad passed away that July. So at that point, I went, 15 years old, just got there, this and that. My dad's dead. I was 16 at that time. Sheriff came by, was like, house is under probate. You got to pack a bag and get the fuck out. So at that point, I became on my own completely at 16, and then found some great people. He's right there.
I have a Seamus Arneson at the front. He's asking for will call tickets, but I don't have any for him.
Wait, who?
Seamus Arneson.
Was
said he
no
bought will
siblings?
call tickets.
No siblings.
No siblings.
No, I was the only child.
He's at the door right now.
I was actually adopted at birth.
Double check.
You're an adoptee?
I was adopted at birth by my great uncle.
No, I actually.
So Rex was actually technically my great uncle.
Oh, man.
So my biological mother, she was unfortunately raped by 3 Crow men when she was 14. She had me when she was 15, and my great uncle adopted me at birth. I didn't find that out until the night he died. So that was brutal. Oh yeah, by the way, you're adopted too. What? So needless to say, after a little bit after that, within the next couple of year and a half, I discovered alcohol. Yep. Because at that point I was running amok in Livingston, Montana, trying to just find couches to crash on. I met some amazing people who are still in my life today. I met some shitty people that are still, I have to keep away, at this point. But I went fucking nuts. Yeah.
Where was your mom at? When you
My mom had already passed. My biological mother or my adoptive mother?
Either.
Adopted mother passed away when I was 10. Biological mother passed away probably 9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and
what was your relationship like with her?
I had a chance to meet her twice. She was living on the streets in Seattle, and one time my cousin, who was like our liaison, was like, she's right around the corner if you want to meet her. And I wasn't ready. Looking back on it, fucking walk around the corner, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's so crazy.
And she died at 53 from liver failure, from being an intravenous drug user and alcoholic.
Yeah. The amount of overlap that I keep having with adoptees and adoptive parents and people with mixed race is crazy, dude. Like, it's over and over again. I had no idea you were an adoptee.
I didn't know either until until 1989.
Right.
And then later on down the road, I found the story of how my biological was raped and all this stuff, and it happened on a Crow agency out of Billings, Montana. Yep. But I was born in Livingston. Yeah. And then there was no record of my birth either until probably when I finally, because I ran amok for a long time, and I finally got my shit together and got a driver's license like 20 years ago. There was no birth record of me. I had to have a birth certificate made. So I still think I'm a Sasquatch with a cell phone. There's something fucking weird about me other than the obvious.
Yeah. The least hairy Sasquatch.
Yes. Yeah, right.
So did the rich little fat kid? Is this the life he envisioned?
Well, when I was 5 or 6, I'd be putting on makeup, doing concerts for my parents for Kiss songs.
Yeah.
And playing an air guitar. At that point, I guess I wanted to be a guitar player. So I always had
Very few air drummers out there.
I do it religiously still to this day. I that's how I practice my parts, is air drumming a lot of the time. So yeah, actually, 45 years later, I'm putting on makeup and playing fucking rock and roll with these crazy kids over here.
That's so killer, dude.
Yeah, I'm living the dream, actually. The more you think about it, it's like, oh, I am actually living the dream. Yeah.
Well, and to overcome the craziness and finding out all that information at once, it could have been real easy for you to just slip into it, but never come back out.
True.
So when did you pick up the drums?
I started playing drums. Started off an alto saxophone in our band in high school or middle school. It was all one school. And our drummer got in a car wreck. I remember that, and he had broken his arm. So our music teacher was just like, does anybody want to try the drums? And I was like, I'll try them. And found out that I was semi-natural at it. Then my first real drum set after I started playing on the kit in school was a set of encyclopedias that I would set up on my bed around me. And if you put a piece of paper on one of them, that sounded like a snare. And then in different thicknesses, you can make different tones, all the way down to the thick ones. It would make lower tones. So that was basically kind of how I kind of started that, and then I started my high school band. And then through, going into high school, we would do pep rallies, and I'd bring my big drum set, and we fucking, everybody, big drum solo and all that crazy shit. And then, after my dad died, moved back to Montana, totally got out of it, just trying to survive, just living wherever I could. And then a drum set fell into my lap, probably a good buddy of mine's got me a great deal, Mr. John Mathias gave me a great deal on a old Rogers kit, and I bought that and I got back into it. Yep. And then I joined a band in Montana called Monolith, and we were probably one of the first metal bands ever out of Montana. Did fairly well, won a couple Battle of the Bands, and then I joined other bands, kind of fell in, bands came here and there, and ended up, in Montana you kind of have to create your own scene. So what all the bands in Montana did was we started a coalition called the Montana Metal Coalition, the MMC, instead of fighting each other. So, one metal band from Billings would host us. We'll come down to Billings. They'll do all the promo for the show. They'll arrange everything. Same for them. They come to our hometown. We would do all the promo, do all the legwork and all the stuff to get people to come through the door. We'd set up the sound system and all that. So we kind of did that. We had to stop fighting each other. My band's better than your band. My band's better than yours. Like, fuck that. Let's come together and start this thing so we can unite and get stronger. And now, from what I see coming out of Montana, it's got a huge fucking metal, thrash, deathcore scene, death metal scene. A lot of it coming out of Missoula, which is awesome. A lot of it coming out of Helena. And it's really cool. It's cool to see that something that I feel like my bands back in the day helped create is still blossoming in Montana.
Yeah.
Because we were playing metal in Livingston, Montana, population 4,700 people, where A River Runs Through It was filmed, and Yellowstone's being filmed right there right now. One of the most beautiful places in the country, but, there's a lot of hardcore rednecks around those parts, and I got along with all of them because I was raised there, So it was... One of our shows would be, on a Friday night, we get 300 people there because we offer free booze, free cakes for the first whoever until we blow, and we would get swamped, and everybody, you'd be like hardcore cowboy, like real cowboy, hardcore redneck, tatted up metal dude, tatted up Indian metal dude. Everybody just got along. So in our mosh pits back in the day, you see cowboy hats flying around, here's fucking spurs. Seriously, I'm talking real cowboys. I mean, these are Montana boys,
Yeah.
And Montana's a whole different ballgame, too, because the Montana people they're tough. You got to be tough to survive. The winters, and Montana's just an amazing place. And so stoked that I was able to show these guys my hometown. We've gone through there numerous times. My favorite burger joint in the world is there, Mark's In and Out. So we make a point, if we're in Montana, it's like, can we go down to my hometown?
Yeah.
And we've been there a couple times, and I've showed the band, my hometown in Paradise Valley. Took them through Yellowstone National Park in 2019, and that was the first for these guys. And I grew up, 35 minutes from Yellowstone National Park, so Yellowstone was like, backyard, basically.
I spent a month part of a summer in Libby, Montana. My sister lived there, and like the big news was they had like a monster truck rally kind of right outside of town, and the guy drove one of the damn monster trucks through the center of town and got a ticket for it, and I think it was just to hype it up.
Absolutely.
I was like,
but that's a big deal back there, So, jump forward, we're a band called Seven Circle, and we're trying to fucking put on our own shows. We rent out the VFW and just walk around town, just hand flyering, talk to whoever would listen to us. And we get fucking 300 or 400 people show up. Yeah. Because there's nothing else to do.
Right.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun.
There's a lot of good native musicians over the years. Pat Vegas is the drummer for Redbone.
Mm-hmm.
There's Link Ray, Jesse Ed Davis, Jimi Hendrix, of course, Charlie Patton, Robert Trujillo. Who are your influences?
On the drums?
Or your vibe, whatever.
I guess one of my first would probably be Igor from Sepultura, because Sepultura is from Brazil and they have a real kind of a tribal vibe to them. Peter Criss from Kiss, I don't really, he's not in my rapport, but he was definitely like, holy shit, look at this guy's fucking drum set is fucking huge, and spinning his sticks and doing a big drum solo and shit like that. Danny Carey from Tool, obviously, he's one of my all-time heroes. There's so many amazing drummers out there, especially now with the interwebs, and everybody's got a YouTube channel, and you can learn so much. Or a podcast. You can learn so much now that the information out there. There's a whole new generation of these drummers, these kids that are just fucking amazing. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Modern day drummer now, I guess L.S. DePario Siberiano would be one of my favorites. Mario Di Plantier from Gojira. There's so many. Grayson Nakutrimon from Sepultura. There's just so many amazing drummers out there right now. So you get Annika Niles, who's the new drummer for Rush. She's fucking amazing. And, obviously there's a lot of pushback from the prog kids. Oh, they got a girl?
Yeah, right.
She's fucking badass. You ever watched her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love me some Rush, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the current band is Dead Animal Assembly Plant,
Yes.
which has got to be... That name slaps so fucking hard, I gotta say. Who came up with that?
That was Zach. This is Zach's baby. I think, where are we at now? 12 years, Rebecca, for DAP total? 11?
I mean, as far as our first live show was March of 2011.
Okay.
It was like first conceived back in like 2006, but just as like a solo thing, and yeah. So, but we've been doing it for a while live, 14 years.
Do we have to blur your face, or is the makeup good enough?
Oh, makeup is totally fine.
Okay.
My face is always better that way. Blurry is my best angle.
Does it have any meaning that you know of, or it just sounds cool?
The story that I know of it, he would be better at. Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
You're better at telling the story behind the name.
Oh, okay. So there's the mythology, and then there's the literal. So the mythology behind the name is that there was a slaughterhouse called the Sweetmeat Slaughterhouse in the 1800s, and the town suddenly, all the livestock died, so the local butcher decided to butcher the people and serve them up to the townsfolk. When they found out, they rebelled and fed him to the machines. And then the slaughterhouse was quiet for a long time until we kind of came through and started creating noise. And that's the mythology. So, a dead animal assembly plant is a literal thing in the state of Oregon. In order to transport and store animal carcasses, you have to have a business license called a dead animal assembly plant. And I randomly stumbled upon that one day. And I was like, that is so absurd. The name and the level of bureaucracy that you like this is so ridiculous, I have to create a band called that. Ta-da! I suckered enough people to do this with me.
God damn it. All right, so you mentioned before, I don't even know if we were recording yet, but so your kind of on-stage persona is Scorn.
Yes.
So once you start painting, is there like an actual sort of shift you feel into it?
Once I finally get everything fully in wardrobe, and then I go outside and have my first cigarette after that, and then usually that's when I feel the first little transition, and then once I get behind my drums. Mm-hmm. And then once I hit my drums, then I'm a different person.
And is it like, what's the difference between Jason and Scorn?
I get to let my demon out. My demon that used to come out a lot when I was an alcoholic. But now he gets to come out and play in something a little more creative, a little more constructive. Yeah. But I definitely have a dark side. Yeah, I'm definitely, I've had to push through do a lot of inner work on anger issues, and I was fucking born angry. And it's a lot of things that I have to constantly work on to put myself in check. But when I get to be on stage with these guys, I just get to let that come out and play for a little bit. So it works really well for my psyche overall, because he gets to play. He gets his fill, and then he goes to dormant. And that's good for me, for him to be dormant. Because when being Irish and Native American, it's the worst drinking habits that you'd ever possibly, because you want to drink it all. and you can't handle any of it. So, very common for me to be out trying to fight a dumpster at 3 o'clock in the morning, or just yelling at the sky, you know, just being angry. So now I use it more constructive, and I use it to beat the shit out of my drums. I feel bad for my drum set sometimes.
He's been sober for 19 years. I've been sober for 9. I don't mind going to bars, but I also know that it's probably not a good place to stand someplace slippery. So what is it like to be in a band, especially in the early going when you're playing for pitchers of beer? And
Sure.
So what's it like being sober in a band and traveling?
To make sure that I was completely locked in with my own sobriety, and I was fucking rock solid internally before I even entertained the thought of playing out. But these guys, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I'm locked in with my sobriety where it doesn't even bug me. I grew up in bars. I grew up in a pool hall. I was a bartender for many, many years. So this is my scene. I just choose not to drink. Yeah. And I don't care if anybody else does or whatever. You know, that's their thing. They got their thing. They can fucking do it. But on occasion, it'll be like, God damn it, you know, everybody's hammered here but me. But then again, I'm just like, stop being a bitch. Yeah, you're a fucking rock solid motherfuckers, and your sobriety is rock solid. You know, so I don't ever really even think about that anymore. And it's really weird when I first joined these guys, because I still will open a fucking bottle of whiskey and take a big smell. And the first time I asked Zach, I was like, "Let me see that." He's like, I was like, "No, I'm fine, man." He's like, ah. So that's where I'm at with my sobriety. I can actually fucking smell it, and it doesn't even bug me. It's rare that I even think about it. I had a shitty day at work probably 2 years ago. I came home, I opened my fucking fridge, and I'm like, what the fuck am I looking? I'm looking for a beer. There's no beer in my fridge. That was really weird, how your brain just automatically goes back to addict. Yeah, full-blown addict. There's beer in my fridge. No, there's not. Yeah, so it's the shitty committee, which always kind of hangs out here on your shoulder, is like, you're doing all right. You could have another beer. You could have a beer. You're fucking almost 20 years in, you know? And I've had my daughter and the mother of my child talk to me about that. It's like, you ever going to drink again? I was like, I had to really sit and think. It's like, am I strong enough to fucking have a couple beers with the boys? Absolutely not. I'm not. It's all or nothing for me, which sucks. Mm-hmm. It's all or nothing. And right now I choose nothing. You know, if I'm another 10 years down the road, I'm fucking hanging out, fucking sitting around, I'm going to have a fucking big fat scotch. My daughter will be, you know, off. She's already in college, for crying out loud. My other daughter's in Montana. She's 35. You know, I was just like, but that's also the addict brain.
Yeah.
Going, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Give it some time. You'll be able to have some beers.
Yeah.
Or I'll fucking turn fucking completely yellow and fucking die from fucking alcohol poisoning within a year.
Yeah.
You know? And if I wouldn't have quit when I did, I'm pretty sure I'd be dead by now. Yeah.
The addict brain will find a way if you let it. Mm-hmm. It'll lie.
The shitty committee.
Yeah.
It's always there. Mm-hmm. Always just hanging out right here. Hey, buddy, remember me? Yeah, I know you. Stay the fuck over there.
Yeah. My shit was like, I liked to drink anyway. And then when my son died, I was like, oh, it's fucking on.
Yeah.
Like, and I gave myself every excuse to be the biggest asshole.
Yeah.
Just
me too.
And then I'm telling myself I earned it. I deserved it. Your son died, which I was fucked up over my son dying. But I was totally not handling it the right way. And
so
it was
that's what I did, exactly the same thing when my parents died. I was like, fuck, I'm homeless now. I'm going to fucking turn into a fucking raging alcoholic. That's the only thing I could find that felt normal, you know? And I was a dick. And, you know, these folks don't know me as an alcoholic, which is great. I was never a dick around you.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Because we were
Did you
usually
explain our origin story together? The history of our friendship?
Well, him and I, we met each other probably 20, close to 20 years ago, probably here or at Ash Street, and we used to do heavy, how do I put it, pain threshold exploration. So hooks and hanging people and skewers and seeing what you can take. And I was a facilitator at that point. My piercing mentor was one of the primary facilitators here in Portland, and we knew a lot of people that were really into body mod. Yeah. So we met a long time ago, and we performed on stage before. And then when the position for drumming opened up, he's like, "Hey, this is kind of right up your alley because you get to be crazy." Yeah.
Oh,
and,
God, Ash
it's the most
Street's-
fun I've ever had in a band ever.
Yeah.
It really is. Because you've probably already seen the transformation just of my attitude, and now I get to do this. And it's really fucking rad.
I've spent some nights in Ash Street. That is for
Oh, boy.
sure, dude.
R.I.P. man.
Yeah, no, I was a little sad when it closed.
Me too.
Yeah, so do you consider this like when you start this transformation and start putting on the paint? Is it art or is it armor?
Oh, it's armor. It's war paint. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting ready to go to battle. Yeah. It makes me feel different. Yeah, and I have really bad stage anxiety.
Not easy.
Like bad.
Green, yo.
You wouldn't think I would. That's why I put on the makeup. That helps. I don't wear contacts, so I can't see the crowd. I put my cymbals up where they can't see me. Hard to shoot back there, and that's how I deal with my stage fright. But putting on makeup totally helps.
Yeah.
Because I'm not Jason.
Right.
I'm Scorn. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Where did Scorn come from? Because it's spelled S-K.
O-R-N.
O-R-N, yeah.
Just from being scornful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you add the K. You spell it with a K. It makes it a little zippier,
Yeah,
you know?
a little
Yeah.
crazier.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, that was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, no, let's just go with that.
Yeah. You haven't started yet, but well, we'll skip that part for now.
I'm excited. Usually when you do these,
So how much of your upbringing on the res and just being native in general, how big a part does that play in the music you make and the drumming, and how much is that a factor?
Being surrounded with powwows and going to powwows all the time, it definitely has a heartbeat. So a lot of my drumming, I play a lot of toms. I do a lot of tribal sounding drum parts. So definitely my heritage comes through in the performance. It's hard for me to not drum that way. It's hard for me to not think about big. Everything's got a groove. Everything's got a fucking heartbeat. And growing up with powwows, like Fort Totten days was some of the most amazing powwows I've ever seen, and it still happens every year. And it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger every year. I would love to take my kids back to the powwow out there. I mean, I love the powwows that we have here. A lot of them are indoors because of our weather situation here. But I grew up on powwows where they last a week. Everything's outside. There's vendors everywhere. There's sticky little powwow kids running around with shit around their mouth for fucking 5 days, and part of a booger. Yeah. And dogs running around and the smell of fry bread and fucking jingles everywhere. And so it's been kind of an adjustment, moving out here, and you go to a powwow that's in an auditorium.
Right.
Yeah. It has a different vibe. But it's still badass, don't get me wrong. And, we have, as far as local, we have Delta Park that's outside. But weather dependent as well. So growing up with hearing a lot of drums, man, and I think it definitely bleeds over in my style.
There is such a vibe at powwows, dude. That's why I love taking my kid down.
Yeah.
Like there's this, and you're right. It's a constant just drumming and jingling and smells and
Yep.
people laughing
Yep.
and kids and. And especially the outdoor one. My tribe's is outdoors.
Yeah.
And we're just out there all day.
Yeah.
You
Fucking
get
camp out.
you
we
get
probably
hungry,
said-
you eat some there is a different vibe to the outdoor powwow, but any powwow has it, and
Absolutely.
I actually want to try and do one at a powwow too, and
Yeah.
and see if I can capture that in some sort of way. I don't know if it translates, but so one of the things I almost always talk about is like a connection to ancestors and how I have them all the time.
Yeah, I read some
so-
of your posts last week. Yep.
So, do you ever have anything like that? Do you ever feel like you've got some guidance from the unseen world or an ancestor standing behind you,
I
kind of
still
like?
talk. I talk daily. That's just part of what I do. I'll talk to my ancestors, talk to my father at least once a day, and a lot of times you got to change how you perceive things, because ancestors will send you guidance and they'll come surround you in different ways. And I find a lot of my connection is a lot with just nature. I fucking love all animals. Considering I play in a band called Dead Animal Assembly Plant, we love animals. All of us, we absolutely adore animals. So my boss, who is, he's probably 10 years older than I am. Not really a nature guy to as much, at all. So I'll be out back behind our shop just talking to the birds. I was like, who the fuck are you talking to out there? It's like the fucking little chirps. These guys come down to see me on my second cigarette break, blah, blah, blah. And I got a fucking mated pair of jumping spiders that live in our little box over here. He's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? So probably a month ago, we had a big old bumblebee that was kind of struggling. It was one of our last hot days. I'm out there smoking, and he's like, oh shit, that bumble's fucking probably needs water. I just went over and grabbed the bumblebee. He's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I was like, well, give him a fucking little bit of water, dude.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, there you go, bud. It's like, I've never seen anything like that. I'm like, it's not gonna fucking get me.
Yeah.
It's not like a fucking yellow jacket or a fucking, anything like that. It's a fucking bumblebee. He's fucking thirsty. He's fucking full of pollen. He's tired. Yeah. So little things like that. I have, and of course, I'm a Sasquatch with a cell phone, and I've had a lot of things happen to me that are unexplainable. In the woods, my first experience was in 2003 in Northern California, not looking for any sort of experience, down there camping. But we had two creatures come into our camp on our last day, on the 5th day of being in that location. And I sat in my tent and listened to them for 2.5 hours, get closer and closer and closer, until one was at my 3 o'clock, one was at my 10 o'clock. My 10 o'clock one was probably 20 yards away from my tent. Definitely bipedal, and they're knocking back and forth to each other and going little whoops. Whoop, whoop. And we're 64 miles from the nearest fucking paved road. We're in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I finally got the balls to unzip my tent, because there's going to be a Sasquatch right there. And I sat up, and I had a Leatherman in this hand and a flashlight in this one. And the second my hand touched the zipper, I got this message in my brain that said, if you know what's good for you, you'll stay in the fucking tent. And it said fucking. And I unzipped it anyway. And as soon as I got about an inch of unzipping, that thing smashed a tree and ran up the fucking hill. And I got out, and the first and only time I've ever had tunnel vision. Everything went down to like this, and everything on the peripheral was glistening. And I didn't see a damn thing, and I should have. 17-inch footprints the next day, cast them, yep. So that was my first experience. Still gives me freaking goosebumps to even think about it. Yeah, so I guess I have this connection with nature. Probably starts with the fucking Sasquatch, and then moves all the way down to bumblebees. Yeah.
Do you bring any like traditions or rituals as you're getting ready, other than like?
Not here. No, I don't. At home, I did smudge last night. I'll usually smudge the night before I go into a show. It helps me with my anxiety. Helps me with just centering myself to get through our set, because what we do is kind of zany, and it's a lot of work. I treat it like a job. I have a job to do. Go up there and do your fucking job, and as long as I do my job and everybody else does their job, and the night should be fucking fantastic.
And you leave a lot of people happy.
Yes, try to. Yes, we definitely try to entertain and put on a show. People are coming here to get a show. It doesn't matter if there's one person or 10,000. They still paid the ticket price to get something. So we try to provide. And never really know what to completely expect during a DAP show. It's not like it changes often, but there's always something that's different. Every show's different. And it's, like I said, it's the most fun I've ever had in a band ever, because I get to do zany shit like this.
Yeah. What do you want your music and drumming and what do you want to leave behind? What do you want people to say? Like, what would you want your daughter to know about your career?
That's one of the. I also play in another band called Rio Scale. We're just getting up and going. Been going for probably a year and a half now. In fact, we have our first show coming up at the end of next month down in Grants Pass. I guess I've been doing a lot more recording because I'm feeling my, I'm not going to be here forever. So I would like to leave my daughters some sort of legacy. They can at least fucking hit play later on down the road, and be like, damn, my dad
We're
was
in the second half, dude.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. We're in the second half, no doubt about it. So that's what I try to do is just a thought of like both my kids and my grandkids and my great grandkids being able to fucking like throw on a DAP CD or a real scale CD and be like, hey, that was my grandpa, or that was my dad, and that's what I look for.
Are you doing the handprint now?
I am.
Okay, he's gonna do the come in nice and tight for this one because we're gonna.
Actually use it for its intended purpose. Well,
Didn't really take too much, but that's why I kind of wanted to do it here, a little more controlled, instead of just doing it on stage. Now I can. So the red handprint, I'm not sure if people are aware, but we have a lot of Native Americans that just go missing, and nobody really fucking talks about it. We're the most
Native Canadians as well.
Native Canadians as well.
Indigenous people.
People in general, people of color in general. And it's a huge epidemic, and nobody's ever fucking talking about it because nobody really gives a fuck. And that really sucks. And this might sound like you might want to edit this out later, but if we were missing fucking the amount of fucking white women that were missing Native American women, this fucking country would come to a fucking screeching halt. They would be wearing a special color ribbon. The fucking flags would be at half fucking mast. All that shit. But since it's people of color and indigenous, who gives a fuck? And if I can raise any sort of awareness through using the band as a catalyst and bring any sort of awareness, I'm going to. Yeah. Even if one person asks me what the handprint's for.
oh my god.
So I just did an interview. It's coming out tomorrow, actually, with this woman named Dr. Beverly Jacobs. She's from Canada. Her whole entire life has been devoted to that crisis, and she's done some amazing work. But it is a crisis, and she's worked with these families that they don't get any answers. Yeah. And my dad's girlfriend, this was the one that was closest to home for me. She had a sister, went missing. They couldn't find her for months and months and months, and then they find her, dead, and she's got defensive wounds all over her body, and nothing happened.
Yep. That's the end of the fucking.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're not going to dig any fucking deeper than that. Oh, they found her. You can take her home now. Oh, she was fighting people off. I don't know. Yeah.
And so it is definitely a crisis. And I brought up, I think a couple episodes ago, but they had this whole documentary on Netflix about this chick named Gabby Petito. Little white girl went missing, big search, all kinds of media coverage, and there was about a minute at the very end of the last episode where somebody came on and said, we've lost hundreds of women on this exact same stretch of highway. Where's the coverage? Yeah.
And I don't even know how to put it into words on how they don't care. And if I have to constantly just be like, fucking doing this, I'm not sure another person that if you're aware of Amanda Freeman out of Grand Ronde, you should look into her. She's really been pushing the envelope as far as bringing in awareness. Grand Ronde actually got their first fucking billboard with the fucking red handprint, which is fucking badass. So definitely check her out, Amanda Freeman. She's been doing great things, making the ancestors really proud for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I can bring any sort of awareness to it, I'm going to.
When did you start doing that?
I just started wearing this probably 2 years ago, if that.
What kind of comments have you gotten from our people?
Nothing.
Really?
Nothing. Nope.
That's surprising.
Not a damn word.
Huh. That is, did not expect that. So do people come up and ask you about it after shows?
Yeah. And they're usually all wish choose.
Yeah.
As far as like, even any media or anything like that coming back from either my family on the res or, blood or anything, nobody said a damn word.
Oh, man. That's surprising.
Sad.
Yeah.
I was always, because I play devil music, and I'm tattooed and I've always been the black sheep of the family. So I really don't give a fuck. I'm the guy that's out there fucking doing cool shit like this.
Yeah.
So I don't care if they support me or not. I'm still going to fucking keep doing it because I support that. And like I said, if I can do any sort of awareness, I'm going to.
Yeah. The Black Sasquatch of the family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. We're kind of wrapping up here. We've been going almost an hour.
I read all 19 verses.
Do you feel like there's a part of you that's like still that kid on the res that's still just up there drumming? Or is that have you left that all behind now?
Oh, no. I got my start on the res, drumming, and at least once a night during the show, I'll flash back to drumming at a high school event. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of neat, though, because it reminds me, it's like, oh, here's where you started, here's where you're at. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we already kind of touched on it. One of my first episodes this time around was with a luchador, a Mexican professional wrestler, and we talked about what it means to get out and perform in front of people. And for some people, it's an escape. For some people, it's a good time. For some people, it's, we get to take 2 hours and not think about what's going on in the world. What do you want people to feel like when they leave?
I want them to be blown away and well, what the fuck did I just experience? What the hell was that? And some people that have never seen us before will definitely walk away going, what the fuck was that? I had no idea that thing even existed. And I just try to, always been a performer too. I've always kind of, I think it comes from KISS. Right. Dressing up and putting makeup on when I was a kid. So I think that still translates over. My other band is not a makeup band. And that's more of a serious, not that we're not serious, but it's more of like a technical, more kind of Queensryche, Tool-y vibe. So there's no makeup in that band. But it's going to be weird playing our first show without putting this on because I won't have anything to hide behind. Yeah. So it's going to be I'm going to have to dig deep to get through that set, just because of my stage fright and anxiety. But I think I've done 200 plus shows with these guys now, and it gets less and less and less and less. Yeah. We play quite a bit.
No Scorn, just J-Mo. That's going to be a different vibe for sure.
For sure. Yes.
All right, so when the lights are finally down and you're cleaning up and the paint's coming off, like, who are you then? Who are you in that moment? You're back to J-Mo?
Oh yeah, I'm back to J-Mo.
Yeah, but what usually stays with you after a show? Like, what are you replaying in your mind?
Did I perform my parts correctly? Did I not suck? Other than that, we've done this so much. I know pretty much everybody's role. I know what they're gonna do. So once I get to the shower tonight, I'm watching all the makeup go down the drain in the shower.
Yeah.
And then once I wake up tomorrow, I'm back to boring old J-Mo.
Yeah.
Some shows are tougher to kick than others. We just played a big one down in the Mojave, Wasteland Weekend, and Wasteland's a whole different world in general. So just getting back to not being at Wasteland every year is a trip, because Wasteland is a fully submersive environment. You have to be in costume at all times to even be in the place, and it's all post-apocalyptic. Theme from Road Warrior and
Mad Max.
Yep. So the adjustment period for me this year was rough, and usually is 3 or 4 days for me to get back into the fucking society, because when you're out there, you don't really think about shit, and you don't have to think about shit. It's a whole different world, not worrying about bills and not worrying about fucking rent and not worrying about this and all that bullshit. This year was hard for me to adjust back. Just, going to fucking Freddy's out in Gresham, like fucking, ugh. people just fucking standing around, just fucking milling about. I'm like, fuck, how come I'm still not in the damn desert?
Yeah. All right, this will be the last question.
Okay.
So, how does it feel, like after a show when you're connecting with fans, and like what do you hear the most often, and what kind of like comments mean the most?
Just primarily of if people walk away feeling that they got their fucking money's worth. Absolutely. As a band, like I said, we try to be entertainers always. We're always going to put on a show. All the compliments are fucking always awesome. But as far as like from drummer to drummer, sometimes people will be like, dude, your fucking set was badass. And I'll pick their brain a little bit. It's like, how was my kick on this one? Or, were you able to hear this cutting through it all or anything like that? Because I try to play my drum parts exactly the same every night. Exactly. Down to exactly. There's nothing ad-libbed in my performance tonight. Because I have a job, and that's my job, and I got to do my job. But as far as getting props from drummers is always awesome. There's, like I said, there's a lot of amazing drummers out there. But as far as getting props for the band, I just want people to be entertained, and I want them to walk away going, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
They're from here, yeah, which happens a lot. They're like, "You guys are from here? Mm-hmm. What's going on up there, Nick? Nothing. We getting any bodies in the room?"
Have your daughter shown any interest in music?
Yeah, my youngest, she plays guitar off and on. Started her off on drums, of course,
Yeah.
She kind of lost interest in that. And then now she's got a guitar. So she does that. Not as much as she probably should be, but that's, if you want to get good at something, you got to put in fucking work.
Yeah.
But they're both fans of the band, for sure. My oldest is back in Montana, so she gets to see us when we go through there. She loves the fucking band. She absolutely loves us. So both my daughters love us, which is great. But my youngest is a little bit more into hardcore, and she goes to those fucking slam pits and the crowd killers and fucking kids show up with fucking armor and fucking mouthpieces,
Yeah.
And I can appreciate all that shit because 30, 40 years ago I was kind of doing that same bullshit, but so it's good. They both dig what I do, which is great.
That's good.
And I had one of her teachers, probably when she was 10th grade or something, was like, yeah, I asked her, what does your dad do? And he's like, my dad's a rock star. I was like, well, I'm glad she thinks that. Yeah, because my fucking pending phone bill doesn't think that,
Right.
But it's I'm just a fucking dude, I'm a drummer. But in their eyes, if I'm a fucking rock star, that's great. Yeah. I'll be a rock star all you fucking want. Yeah.
All right.
As long as my kids think I'm a rock star, it's a win.
For sure.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks so much for your
Thank you
time,
so
dude.
much, man. Yes.
He reached out to me. I reached out to him initially, like he said years ago.
Yeah.
And then out of the clear blue sky, he's in all caps, dude, I want to be on your podcast.
Yeah.
And the original idea, he was going to come out to my house in full gear. And then I was like, dude, we should just do it at your show.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, we could do that. And he sent me a couple dates, and we figured it out.
Yep.
But yeah, thanks so much for being on,
Thank
dude.
you.
It's gonna look so different. I'm so excited
Yeah,
to see
me
how
too.
it turns out.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you to my homie Jason Moore.
Thank you all.
See you next time. Bye.
Nando, can I get another smoke off you?
I'm gonna have you do one more thing, okay?
Yeah.
I just want you to say. You can either say Scorn from Dead Animal Assembly Plant
Yep.
with my homie Gino, and you're listening to Native as
It's
I
still
Can.
going?
Yeah.
Hey, this is Scorn from Dead Animal Assembly Plant, and you are listening to As Native as I Can Be, right? Yes. And everybody enjoy the show. Tune in. Listen often.
Ross, thanks, dude.
Yes.